Welcome to this week's Movie Math, giving you an in-depth analysis of the box office for the weekend of September 23rd, when The Lion King continued to dominate despite 4 new challengers. Slipping a scant 27%, in just their second week, Simba and company have surpassed the totals of every other movie in the top 10, with the exception of The Help. As for Moneyball, just like in real life, Billy Bean keeps coming up short. While everyone had expected the film to open at number 1, it had to settle for second place. While Sony is spinning the story by pointing out this is the biggest opening for a baseball movie ever, not accounting for inflation, all that really points out is that Hollywood shouldn't bet on baseball movies. This is even a step backward for star Brad Pitt, who hasn't had one of his movies open this low since his pre-Ocean's 11 days. But it will all be worth it if Moneyball earns him an Oscar, for which there is very strong buzz. And one, if not several Oscar noms would not only help Pitt, but add extra innings to Moneyball's box office run. There are certainly many demographics still to mine for the pick, as 60% of its opening weekend audience was over the age of 50. And it looks like Pitt was practically riding a dolphin himself this weekend, as Dolphin Tail was that close on his rear. The true story was inspirational at the box office as well, as it boasts the biggest opening ever for a live-action animal film, beating a previous record holder 8 Below. Yeah, it's not a very crowded field. But for a movie that wasn't really on anyone's radar, it's an impressive bow. A movie that was on everyone's radar, though, Abduction. Turns out audiences weren't any more interested in the male version of Hannah, as the movies opened on par. This is also on par with last week's Drive, another movie supposedly touting one of Hollywood's hot up-and-comers. Well, Tinseltown can keep trotting them out, but it's the audiences who will decide who's the next big star. The jury's still out on Lautner, as this was his first lead role, but Robert Pattinson still has the lead amongst the Twi crew with Water for Elephants. As for the weekend's other new release, Killer Elite turned out to be rather ordinary, and is an opening on the low end for Jason Statham, but right on par for Clive Owen. Perhaps both men should remember that while there are plenty of mercenary killer roles available on screen, being mercenary actors in real life is a short-term game. As for the rest of the box office, most drops were in the 50th percentile, with the exception of The Help, which is sliding ever so slowly down the top 10 of the box office. Perhaps most disappointing, though, was Drive's large second weekend drop, a kick in the stomach to Ryan Gosling, who's already been knocked down from last weekend's dismal opening. While some award nominations could cause the pick to do a U-turn at the box office, award season is still awfully far away, and there are some major flashier picks waiting in the wings. But there's always the reprieve of cult status on DVD in demand, so we'll have to wait and see. This coming weekend, yet another 4 movies hit the box office. 50/50 and Dreamhouse have the best shot of defending current Hollywood by toppling The Lion King, while What's Your Number and Courageous will just try to grab whatever money they can from what seems to be a disinterested audience. What upcoming movie will jumpstart the box office? Well, there could be some surprises. My money is on November 4th, when the trifecta of Puss in Boots, Tower Heist, and a very Harold and Kumar 3D Christmas all hit theaters. Yes, that weekend there will be a movie for everyone. What's the next film you're the most excited to see? Be sure to share it down below. And that's the Weekend Box Office Roundup. I'm Grace Randolph, and we just did some movie math. Want more BTT? Then be sure to check out these other episodes. Click here to find out what audiences had to say about Moneyball, click here to find out what's the latest movie to head down to Orlando, and click here for the latest episode of Countdown, Beyond the Trailer's newest series. And I hope you'll subscribe. Thanks for watching.